Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about James Gunn because, as you guys know, James Gunn been saying some bullshit, but I really want to talk about how this whole notion of, well, he did Guardians of the Galaxy is a good measurement for his work is a terrible notion, and we need to stop that. Because the reason why I want to talk about that is because he had said that it was okay to be confused about the shared universe and you don't have to understand everything in the shared universe. Yes, the hell you do, especially when you're doing movies. And the reason why I also want to talk about that is because we got too many pet projects going on in the DC universe that he's announcing that doesn't make logical sense at all, and it needs to damn stop. You have to understand that the reason why Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are the Trinity, they're the foundation, they're the ground of the DC universe. Without those three characters, you can't do what the fuck you doing with, oh, we're going to start off the new DC universe with Creature Commandos. Why? Who are they? Authorities, Booster Gold, you know what I'm saying? Swamp Thing, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I'm sorry, without the Trinity, you can't have these characters. I mean, y'all let me know, because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck you talking about. Like, you can just do whatever the hell you want to with these universe. And then people want to be like, well, Guardians of the Galaxy was good. Yes, but the reason why Guardians of the Galaxy was good, because Marvel was able to take a chance on that property, on that franchise, because, not because James Gunn, but because the Avengers was good. If the Avengers weren't good, you wouldn't have Guardians of the Galaxy. Because ask yourself, could Guardians of the Galaxy stand on its own without the MCU? And the answer is no. Ant-Man couldn't stand on its own without it. Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, Loki, WandaVision. You couldn't have it. You couldn't do this stuff if the MCU wasn't grounded. And that's the thing that the DCEU didn't understand. Like, I mean, not the DCEU, but Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers thought that, well, if we don't continue with Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, we can do shit like Birds of Prey, The Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. We can do Shazam. We can do Black Adam. And the answer is no. No, the fuck you can't do those characters. You can't. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You can't do those characters without the groundwork. And that's just the damn truth. Now the fuck you want that damn star raining. What the fuck? Okay, anyway. Or sprinkling. Whatever the hell this shit one goddamn do. But people need to understand that it doesn't work like that. You can't just throw out characters just for the fuck of it. It's the same thing with, like, comic books. Okay, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are your ground foundations of the DC universe. For Marvel, it is what? Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Spider-Man. Really, those the three pillars of the Marvel universe, honestly. Without those three, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Even with the Avengers, the Avengers was the B team, so you can at least, when Marvel didn't have the rights for Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, or Spider-Man, they were like, okay, well, we're going to use the Avengers, and the Avengers had the three pillars of the Avengers team, which is Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Like, you need those characters in order to work. But without those characters now, and since you're not bringing in Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, or the X-Men at the time, you don't have a foundation. So you can't take a chance on all of these other characters that you think you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody think that you can just do whatever the fuck you want to with these characters. And you can't. You can't do that kind of stuff. Because even when you go into a comic book store, not a comic book store, but with a lot of people always talking about how come nobody's really picking up some of these indie comic books or indie titles or whatever and stuff like that. Well, the reason why, because DC and Marvel are your important things. If those aren't fixed, you can't get those kind of sales. You can't get people to take a chance on that. You know what I'm saying? If Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are not solid, and I'm not buying the bullshit, why would I take a chance on Plastic Man? Yeah, are there fans of Plastic Man? Of course. But I don't want to see a Plastic Man book or a Plastic Man movie or show or video game if you can't even get Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman correct. And the same thing goes for Marvel. I mean, and honestly, let's go back to Guardians of the Galaxy, because everybody always want to measure James Gunn's success with those 3 movies. But let's be honest, outside of the movies, the Guardians of the Galaxy is not a franchise that's selling. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm telling you the God honest truth right now is that they're not selling. They're not selling. They really aren't selling at all. Oh, Lord, the damn camera fell down. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was me speeding up a little bit and that camera couldn't handle it. Hold on. Let me gotta tighten that a little bit sometimes. But anyway, the reason why it doesn't work is because, think about it, the Guardians of the Galaxy video game, 2 of them, the Telltales and the regular one, and then the TV show, did not work for the audience. Am I saying that they're all 3 of those things were bad? No, not really. But at the same time, people who read Guardians of the Galaxy don't like the movie versions of the characters. And I'm just gonna be honest, people who've read the Guardians of the Galaxy, people that I talk to who know about the Guardians of the Galaxy before Marvel, they hate the version that James Gunn did with the characters because they completely made them asinine jokes. And the same thing with Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. It didn't do well. I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all. Well, it was critically acclaimed. It doesn't matter that it was critically acclaimed. Nobody's buying fucking merchandise for the shit. That's the thing that y'all not understand. The same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody's buying the shit outside of watching the movie or the show. So when you're saying that, oh, the show and the movie did well, oh, wow, great, congratulations. But when it comes to Blu-ray sales, when it comes to merchandise sale, they're not moving. When they're doing comic books right now, DC's trying to push Peacemaker on us. It's not selling. It is not selling because nobody cares. And then they try to take Peacemaker and make him the version that James Gunn did. That's not Peacemaker. That's not Peacemaker. I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all. The same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy can't even hold a comic book anymore because every time they try to do the Guardians of the Galaxy, they take them and make them the movie versions. That doesn't work. You can't adapt the TV show stuff and bring it back into the comic books or the merchandise. It doesn't work because that audience is not the same as the buy-in audience. They told you what they wanted from the Guardians of the Galaxy. They told you what they wanted from Peacemaker. You didn't listen, and you think that because Guardians of the Galaxy was a success without understanding the reason why they were a success is because the MCU was successful. If the MCU was not successful, Guardians of the Galaxy would not have been successful. And I can tell you right now, no, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies could not stand on their own. They couldn't stand on their own. Because it's not even a good introduction to the cosmetology world of Marvel at all. Because you're missing way major players like Silver Surfer, Nova. Adam Warlock didn't show up until the 3rd movie, which is criminal. And then even then, he wasn't even done right. You get what I'm saying? There is a lot of cosmetology stuff in the Marvel universe that even with Guardians of the Galaxy, you needed the foundation of the cosmetology realm in order to do that. And you didn't do that at all. Lord have mercy, I got a cow lick. And you didn't do that with the characters. You just did whatever the fuck you wanted to, and then you made them jokes. That's another thing. Because ever since Guardians of the Galaxy happened, Marvel and even DC think that, hey, what if we make like family-friendly kind of comedic moments for the heroes? No. I don't read the comic books, and I didn't support Marvel and DC all these years to see my superheroes be made of complete asses or complete jokes. And that's what y'all doing, and y'all keep trying to say, oh, it's great. No, the fuck it's not. It's not great. All right? I'm just gonna be honest. Lord have mercy, this goddamn cow lick. Lord, come on, go on down. Go on down. Yeah, that's right. Black folks sometimes get cowlicks. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Just in case nobody don't believe. But Lord, I'm in my white boy hair phase. Oh, Jesus Christ. But anyway, it just doesn't make logical sense. And everybody keeps trying to hide behind the fact that, well, James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy was successful, but Zack Snyder's DC stuff was a colossal failure, even though they put butts in seats. Make that shit make sense. Because if James Gunn was good, why couldn't he get an audience for the Suicide Squad or Peacemaker? Huh? Tell somebody. What else has he done that really has gotten, that you can really be like, yeah, James Gunn is an excellent director? Nothing. His record is not that impressive compared to Zack Snyder, compared to Christopher Nolan, compared to a Sam Raimi. I'm going to be honest with you. When you're doing action pieces, when you're doing superhero stuff, you can have lighthearted moments, but you have to treat the characters with gravitas. Don't nobody want joke characters, and then for you to take characters who weren't jokes and make them jokes, and say, well, nobody cares about them because people don't really know those characters. That's a lie. These characters have been around for 40 fucking years. 50 years. You can't sit here and say that nobody knows about them. You talking about the movie audience don't know about them. The television audience might not know about them. But people who actually fucking read a book, which most of those people do not, of course they want to know about those characters. But don't sit up here and say that don't nobody know about them, because clearly somebody knows about it, because when you announce some of these characters, why do you get blowback? High Evolutionary, why the fuck he black? When clearly there's a whole entire background story that Stan Lee and them set up for this character, who showed up in various issues to flesh out his origin story. Oh yeah, back in the day, there were certain comic books that when you're introducing a character, sometimes the character's origins gets tied into the back of the story. So if you really wanted to know the character's origins or anything, you would have to actually read the comic book in order to find that out. Yeah, bet you didn't know nothing about that now, did you? Bet you didn't know nothing about that, did you? Yeah, I'm quite sure you didn't. Because, again, nobody reads. And even then, I have a video where I explain the High Evolutionary and the issues that he takes place in. I actually had to go and scour information again, because I knew, I read it when I was a little kid, because, you know, at the time, a lot of that stuff didn't come out when I was little. It came out before I was born. But, you know, you go to comic book stores, you go and find information, and of course you go and talk to comic book owners who had comic book shops, and people who read them, and they would explain certain things or whatever. So I remember reading a lot of stuff about the High Evolutionary, and then of course I saw Spider-Man Unlimited, which featured him as well. So I was confused why he was fucking black. And again, reading Guardians of the Galaxy, again, I know how certain characters weren't tied to the High Evolutionary, but for some reason they kept doing it. That's why I'm like, this doesn't make any logical sense. And then when people criticize it, James Gunn wants to say that people are being racist. No, motherfucker, you the racist, because you took a white character from England, from London, England, in the the early 1900s actually, and you changed him around, made him black with a God complex, because diversity and inclusion. Peacemaker is supposed to be an extreme version of Captain America with a little bit of mental instability, right? But instead of doing that, you make him a fucking joke with daddy issues. Star-Lord, serious captain of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Prince heir to the Spartax Empire. What do? We make him the joke of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody takes him serious, and he has daddy issues. I don't know why I'm keep seeing the same shit over and over again. It's getting kind of tiring, honestly. I'm just kind of over this bullshit where you keep taking these characters and cluster fucking them up because diversity and inclusion, or because you're like, well, don't nobody know about them, so we can do whatever the hell we want to. No, you can't. That's the reason why these characters are fucked up as it is, because you thought that you can do whatever fuck you want to with these characters and didn't think that there was ramifications, and now you're trying to do that shit with the DC universe. No, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You have to get the Trinity correct, and you have to get the core 7 of the Justice League together. If you can't get them together, then you can't do the DC universe. I should be seeing Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter stuff. That should have been your first stuff. Not the Authorities, not Swamp Thing, not Supergirl, not Creature Commandos, not Waller. I'm just gonna be honest with you. All of that bullshit that y'all were doing, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. And that's just real talk. That's not me trying to be mean. That's not me trying to throw hate or whatever. That's me being a fan, and that's me criticizing what I'm seeing, because I'm just gonna be honest with you. It doesn't work, and it hasn't worked. I don't know what the fuck to damn tell you. If you want me to get on your side, then you need to start doing shit that makes logical sense. Not illogical sense, logical sense. And not because you want to do your passion projects. There's a lot of passion projects I want to do, but if I had an audience, I'm not going to just be doing whatever the hell I want to with franchises and characters that are not mine. You get what I'm saying? Those characters, the DC universe do not belong to me. Marvel universe do not belong to me. So therefore, if I was hired to create a universe or to fix it, Lord have mercy. Hold on. Y'all, sorry. There we go. Gotta tighten that little thing. If I want to do the DC universe, I would just pick up from what the foundation was laid for Snyder. Look at what he's doing, and I'll choose what we are going to do and what we aren't going to do from that. I'm going to keep the actors we got, maybe recast. I'm definitely going to recast Amber Heard, Ezra Miller. If I bring back Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, he's going to the fucking gym and he's getting in fucking shape. You know what I'm saying? I get what Zach was doing with Lex Luthor, but I still want my Lex Luthor to have some kind of physical presence. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Jesse can bring in, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to greenlit the Batman movie versus Deathstroke, and that's going to be featuring Robin and Batgirl, because the Robin that died is Jason Todd. So this one will introduce Tim Drake and Cassandra Cain Batgirl. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to introduce some new characters, we're going to introduce Tim Drake and we're going to introduce Cassandra Cain. You know what I mean? Those are the characters we're going to have, and we're going to have Barbara Gordon as Oracle already established. And we're going to drop hits of Nightwing, because I know they wanted to do a Nightwing solo movie as well. And then again, we're going to lead up to Darkseid. We're going to lead up to Darkseid War, and we're going to greenlit a Man of Steel 2, where Brainiac and Supergirl show up. We're going to know Sasha Calle will not be there. We're going to have a Supergirl that looks like Supergirl. You know what I'm saying? And she's going to be wearing the Michael Turner iconic outfit. No, I don't want to see covered up superhero characters. You know what I'm saying? we're going to go for a little bit iconic looks. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman will not be wearing that movie costume anymore. She will be wearing something similar to her iconic bikini look that Linda Carter wore when she was Wonder Woman. Like, we're going to do some stuff. We're going to introduce Donna Troy, maybe. We're definitely going to introduce Donna Troy. We're going to introduce Donna Troy, and we're going to lead into this event, so when we do a crisis, we can recast some of these characters or whatever. But the reason why is because, contracted out or whatever. We want to just keep going with these characters, with these actors. You know what I'm saying? And I think the audience will understand, because we've done it before with the Batman movies, where the main some of the characters would change, but it's still in the same continuity. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you need to, but my goal and focus is to focus the DC universe around the Trinity. Everything that builds up to Darkseid and the rest of them needs to come from the Trinity. Yes, the core 7 members of the Justice League team will be important, and yes, they will have solo movies. But we won't just be throwing out random movies. We won't be having movies like Birds of Prey. We won't be having movies like Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, Black Adam. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be having random movies like that. And that's the thing that you have to do. You got to understand how this works. And to keep trying to justify someone just by saying because they did one great film franchise for a shared universe, because on their own they couldn't do it, is not an excuse to keep this up. I mean, I know I kind of rambled around, I'm sorry, but it just kind of bothers me that everybody keeps like trying to justify James Gunn by trying to bring up Guardians of the Galaxy. That is not a measurement. I seen his body of work, and most of his body of work is not that great. I don't care what nobody say. Most of his body of work is not that great. And again, the Guardians of the Galaxy could not be successful if the MCU was not successful. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It would not have made the money that it made if it was not part of the MCU. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest, but you guys don't want to, some of y'all don't want to listen, and then you're going to try to bring back some of the actors, and the actors that you're bringing back are part of movies that failed at the box office. Because at this point, it just seems like the only thing that you're doing is replacing Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. Because rumors are Gal Gadot is still going on, Jason Momoa is still going to be Aquaman. Mira's still going to be, Amber Heard's still going to be Mira. The Flash is still going to be Ezra Miller, apparently. Like, whether they're true or not, so far, what it seems like is James Gunn only wants to work with his friends. And then if some people be like, Sam Raimi and Zack Snyder work with their friends too. No, they work with their colleagues, their partners, some of their partnerships, if you actually paid attention. And on top of that, those actors that Zack Snyder and Sam Raimi was working with, or Christopher Nolan was working with, those actors are critically acclaimed. Those actors have brought butts to seats. Most of the people that James Gunn worked with, not really. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It is what it is. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like, can we stop heavily relying on Guardians of the Galaxy franchise as a measurement of success for James Gunn and for the success of the future of the DC universe? Because I know David Zaslav said that was the reason why he thought James Gunn was a perfect choice for running DC, because of the success of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm like, David, Lord have mercy. If you don't understand what led to the success of the Guardians, then wow, you do not need to run a company at all. Which, honestly, at this point, but it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.